Duvall playing some country western guy named Max Sledge.
Didn't he win Best Actor for that?
Oh, he might have.
I was just looking at the Oscars
Oh,
this
yeah?
year too. But yeah, it's. I can't tell if it's one of those years where there was nothing else good, and so it won all the awards, or if it won all the awards because this is one of the rare times that they got it right.
Yeah,
and it's an incredible movie. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Well, I mean, it definitely. They definitely liked it.
Yeah, they did.
Although, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, well, all right. So, hey, everybody. Welcome to Thanks Academy, the podcast where we watch all the best picture winners of all time in random order with random friends. And today's random friend is Mac Blake.
Hi. Thank you for having me on the podcast, Karina.
You are so welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little sick.
Okay.
So if you hear a sneeze, or to be honest with you, maybe even a burp,
Oh, no.
just keep in mind.
You have some sort of burping cold?
I was burping all the way up here, which I was like, oh, I hope this goes away before I get recorded. Just know that I already apologize.
Well, as long as you do that.
Yeah, I pre-apologize. I'm usually a little bit
Also came
classier.
Prepared with a box of tissues, which may have been for the movie today.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
What do you know about this movie?
What is this movie? Terms of Endearment.
Yes.
For growing up, for the longest time, I thought it was called Tears of Endearment. I don't know why that stuck in my head as the name of it, but I assume it's a crying movie because somehow it got in my head as Tears of Endearment.
Yeah.
And I also always confused this movie with Chariots of Fire, not because I knew anything about either one of those movies, but because they're from roughly the same era and they have similar name constructions.
Yes.
So I thought this was the movie where they ran on the beach
Yeah.
to techno music. 80s techno.
Yeah. This one also had a sort of a signature theme.
Does it?
Musically.
What is it?
I mean, it's not as like, easily replicated as boom dum 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 dum, but like it's definitely like I watched a few minutes of it at the beginning, and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this music before.
Okay, just it's not like a pop song because this was the era when every movie had a pop song in the middle of it.
Yeah, especially when they like recap the movie.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
and it was either written by Christopher Cross. Who's the guy who did Caddyshack and Top Gun?
Kenny Loggins. Yeah.
Or who's maybe the third? Peter Cetera.
If you went a little bit later, like into the 90s, that those reins were picked up by Bryan Adams.
Yes.
Who
nailed it with Robin Hood.
Yeah, nailed it with Robin Hood. If You've Ever Loved a Woman from Don Juan DeMarco, and then the Three Musketeers song, which was so weird.
Yes. I think Titanic killed it. I think Titanic, other than if you set aside Disney movies, Titanic was the last time that was done and it worked, and everybody was like, "Well, we give up."
Yeah, it's so funny how big of a deal movie soundtracks were back when people paid for music in album form
and movies.
Yes,
in album form.
Oh, that's true.
On long play Laserdisc.
I thought the idea terms of endearment. I remember hearing that title and being thinking about a term as a period of time. Never, not getting the idea of it being terms of endearment being something you call somebody. I don't know why that didn't click for decades.
Wait, what? It's still not clicking for me. I still don't understand the title. I thought it was a legalistic thing. I will love you if.
Oh, well, if you call someone, Honey Bunch, that is a term of endearment.
Oh, like a term, like a word.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay, good. That makes me feel better because I was like, ugh, I didn't get that.
I thought it was a phrase meaning conditional love. These are the terms of my endearment to
you. Okay.
After I got over the fact that it wasn't tears of endearment.
Yeah. Squirms of endearment. I think what we've just unveiled is the fact that this title is deep. This is a layered movie. James L. Brooks, TV veteran, striking out.
Yes. The Simpsons, James L. Brooks.
Yeah. What other James L. Brooks movies have you seen?
I'm sure. Some.
Have you seen As Good as It Gets?
Yes, I have seen As Good as It Gets.
Have you seen Spanglish?
Yes, I have seen Spanglish. I had no idea that was him.
And then he did a couple more that were
Didn't he do another ensemble movie in the early 80s that was famous? Not Diner, but... or was Diner him?
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll look him up later. if we care, if this movie inspires us to figure out if...
He definitely, like, he only does movies every once in a while, so you'd think his cast would be, like, real good. And then he did some movie with, like, Owen Wilson and Reese Witherspoon, and you're just like, okay.
Well, there was a time when that sounded like a good idea.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when that was. I'm trying to think if that was at the same time. There was a Reese Witherspoon time, and there was an Owen Wilson time, and they kind of were the same time, right?
Yeah, maybe like
Late
after
90s.
Legally Blonde, and after, I don't know, Wedding Crashers or something
Zoolander.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hot stuff.
Yeah, but I think the movie that he made with them was like 10 years later.
Oh, yeah, may have been.
Yeah, and then too late. So who's in this? Shirley MacLaine is in this, and Jack Nicholson is in this. And I only know that because if you see a poster for this movie, those are the faces they put on the poster.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else is in it. I don't know anything about what it's about. It sounds like you've seen snippets before or have some knowledge.
I know that Deborah Winger is in it.
That's fantastic.
And I'm not at all familiar with Deborah Winger. I know, like, I was listening to, like, Terry Gross or something. And they're like, Deborah Winger is back in Jonathan Demme's new film, Rachel Getting Married. Where'd you go, Deborah? And I forget her answer.
Sometimes Terry Gross's questions are so offensive that you just tune out the answer. You're like, how did you ask that?
She's just so unassuming. It's like if Vanilla Ice Cream called you a whore, you'd be like, silly Vanilla Ice Cream.
Are you calling him Vanilla Ice Cream on purpose?
I'm calling Terry Gross Vanilla Ice Cream.
Oh. The best interviews I've heard from her are of Gene Simmons.
Oh, that one where he got famously upset.
Yeah, she stood up to him, sort of.
Yeah, well, he's gross.
Yeah. And then I just heard her interview Pamela Adlon, like, this is recently.
Oh, interesting.
And Pamela Adlon just basically shut her down for asking about Louis C.K.
Yeah.
In a way that I'd heard before. That was pretty fun.
How dare you ask about the person you're so famously associated with?
Well, it wasn't the how dare you ask. It's the, wait, what did you just ask me? This unanswerable question about what he was thinking. In, like, you know, it wasn't that she was being asked. It was what she got asked. That I hadn't heard Terry Gross backpedal like that in a little while.
That tracks. I mean, Pamela Adlon seems pretty smart.
She seems... I wouldn't mess with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wouldn't steal her purse.
Real quick, what is that house?
That's a French restaurant made of Legos.
It's not like related to a popular movie franchise or anything?
No.
Oh,
It's a Lego original.
That's great.
We can play with it later.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's like 3 stories. You can remove each story.
Yeah, it's so big. I was like, is that like a Harry Potter chateau? Or...
No, they make those now. I like the non-branded stuff because it just doesn't feel quite so juvenile when I spend hundreds of dollars on Legos.
Yeah.
This is for adults. Sure.
They had that Avengers helicarrier that came with like 8 minifigures.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that one.
Whoa, 8 minifigures! And it was like, that's not something you should say out loud as a person in their 30s.
Yeah, that one and the Star Wars ones are all about the minifigures now. And you kind of like have to get a vehicle to build for them.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, here's what I think this movie's about.
Yes.
Just a group of people talking, having families, and drama.
Yeah.
Like an ABC drama. I don't think there's going to be much plot.
Based on other movies that I've seen him, I'm going to say people like you wouldn't think would be attracted to each other become attracted to each other. That is my prediction for this.
And if there's crying, which we're both anticipating crying, someone's dying, right?
Someone's probably going to die. I know they made a sequel.
Yes.
Called like the Moonlight Cafe or something like that. I fucked it up. Sunset Cafe? I don't know. Do you know the name of it?
I forget. I don't think either one of those was the name, but it was...
Is it cheating to look it up?
No.
Okay.
I think Jack Nicholson's only made 2 sequels I can think of, and both of them were like a decade after the initial one.
What was the other sequel?
He made a sequel to Chinatown called The Two Jakes.
Oh, that's right.
That I never saw, but it was sort of infamous for like, why now? Because it was in the late 90s, I think.
He was just doing his buddy Robert Evans a favor.
Yeah, probably.
They're like... Robert Evans, famous movie producer, who was like best friends with Jack Nicholson. When he went bankrupt, Jack Nicholson like bought his house back for him. And in Robert Evans' book, Jack Nicholson has a quote on the back cover. It has nothing to do with the book. He just was like, the author's proper name is Notorious. And it was like, okay.
What?
I don't know, man.
I guess they're friends.
And that concludes all I know about Robert Evans.
Oh, okay.
I watched a documentary, whatever that was on. Oh, Broadcast News was the James L. Brooks movie.
Oh.
That was a famous 80s one. Where does this
Is that Mad as Hell? I'm not going to take it anymore?
No, that is Network.
Network. I always get those two confused. James L. Brooks good at making movies that get me confused with other movies.
Yeah. The Evening Star.
Evening Star.
So not the Sunrise Cafe.
You were dancing around it.
Maybe in a year I would get it.
All right, so let's tuck into terms of endearment here.
Already a weird Sixth Sense vibe to terms of endearment.
Yeah, that was creepy, but it was especially creepy when there was no music going.
Gulf and Western Company. Is that a gas company?
Yeah, what were they? I only knew them from being on the Paramount logo.
You're going to stare her right into a coma.
Oh, stop exaggerating.
Honey, it's not good for you to be checking on the baby every 5 minutes and imagining one terrible thing or another.
I know.
Here it starts. Here we go.
Rudyard,
Rudyard?
she's not breathing.
Honey, she's sleeping. The baby's sleeping.
No. Rudyard, it's crib death.
It's sleep.
Whoa.
She's asleep, honey.
Maybe.
It better not actually be crib death.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, when you're wearing heels, you don't need to stand on the stool.
So what... Is this movie about Munchausen syndrome?
I don't
A
know.
little baby torture to start this thing off.
Oh! Yeah, I know this song.
I feel like I've just heard it elsewhere, I guess.
Yeah. Is this a period piece? I guess it starts that way. Hey, Danny DeVito. Cool. He was in Jack Daniels. Sweet. He was in Cuckoo's Nest.
John Lithgow in this movie? I did not know that.
Shit, that's
Oh, Danny DeVito's in also with Cuckoo's Nest?
I know. I was watching it with, I can't remember who I was watching it with, but we did not recognize him until the end of the movie because he was clean shaven and young and doesn't have any lines, so you don't hear his voice.
Yeah.
It was creepy. And we kept singling him out, like, that little extra is amazing. And it turned out to be Danny DeVito.
It's funny that he was like a guy that like directed movies and is now just like a drunk clown.
Yeah.
But
I never really liked his kind of dark comedy stuff.
yeah, it's weird. He's just a guy who's like, oh, Danny DeVito's in this. Like, I don't really. Oh, there we go. We see that she has the 2 beds, classic sitcom 2 beds. Obviously, this bed has been set dressed because you don't read a book and then lay it out in front of you like that.
I think I had that version of Wizard of Oz when I was a kid.
Is that an album or a book? Actually, now that
Maybe
I
it's
mention
an
it.
No, thank you. Would you like to sleep in my bed again?
Yes.
Gross. I mean, I like sleeping with my kids, but they are fully potty trained. And just when I see one on screen and I don't know whether or not they are, I'm like, don't get in there, you know?
Yeah.
You need to set that stage for me before I feel comfortable with this.
Maybe have her coming out of the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
newspaper in her arm.
You hear the flush.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hurry up, you're gonna miss him.
Deborah Winger, famous for... Yeah, seriously.
They're looking at
Is this somebody? She looks like a weird Gillian Anderson, Heather Hunt,
Yeah.
Laura Dern hybrid.
What's wrong?
Didn't James L. Brooks cast Helen Hunt in a couple of movies?
Oh, as good as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, gotta get my bus.
He has a type, I guess.
Okay. Love you. Astronauts.
Deborah Winger was famous at this point for doing the voice of E.T.
She did the voice of E.T.?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a career.
You want to go with?
No, I don't think I'm up to it today.
So she said an astronaut,
Somebody liked.
I guess, is moving in next door.
Oh, wow. There was only like 12 of those. That's...
Yeah, when is this? Is this 1983?
Maybe?
Oh, that hug's a little... What happened between those three? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That's that. Have a good drive.
Wow. The French goodbye.
He wasn't going in for like a lip kiss, was he?
He was.
The head turn was all Shirley. Shirley MacLaine reminds me of my grandmother, so
Oh, wow.
I already like her very much. She's a redheaded lady with also the surname MacLaine.
I had a redheaded grandma too, but she was more Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
But drunk and mean.
Oh, my grandmother was real mean, but I enjoyed it as a kid.
I
Like-
enjoyed mine too.
Looking back,
You tell her thanks. She keeps thinking of me when I say those things. Tom? Are you going to be good to your mother and take care of her?
Bye, Mrs. Greenway.
Wow.
Listen, you write as soon as you get there, so I'll have your address and all, okay?
Yeah, my
Oh, 'cause
grandmother-
she didn't like being a grandma.
Shape up.
my grandmother would, if she had bad service, she'd like almost try to get the person fired. Which as a kid I thought was real funny. As an adult, just would be mortifying.
Of course.
Oh,
Well,
they're
there's the
very
lip kisses.
yeah,
The phone bill is going to be enormous, you know that.
Maybe Arkansas.
yeah.
I'll miss
I was about to say they did the New Jersey mouth kiss here.
Yeah.
Can we go now?
Was that okay? That was weird. She goes, "I'm gonna miss
Oh, I
you,"
saw.
and then I guess Shirley MacLaine was.
Oh, there's a shot.
That's cool. I was really hoping we'd see a license plate there.
Well, now, are we going to jump back and forth? This movie's scaring me for some reason.
Excuse me.
Honey, I think it's gonna be so good for us to be away from your from our families.
I miss Houston.
You don't know
Nice.
how lucky you are. you
Points
know?
for Karina.
I mean, everybody wants to go to Des Moines. People come from all over the world just to get one look at Des Moines before they die. Some people say it's the best city in Iowa.
That's really funny.
I know you're kidding me. Texas is the best.
Oh!
Snap!
Stop worrying. We're gonna see some terrific new things. We are.
Oh, there's no way they got out of Texas that quickly,
Yeah.
even if they were driving east.
I like the choice to give that kid gum in that scene. That was weird. That's just best.
Nice yard.
Yeah, seriously.
Would you please, if you will, hold it down over there?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Hold it down! Have some respect for other people's feelings!
Can't you tell I'm in a gazebo?
Is this just standing in a gazebo? Is this the first time they've spoken in... I know it's the first time they've spoken in the movie, but like, are we supposed to believe this is the first time they've ever spoken?
Yeah, because at this point they've been neighbors for years. If she has a 3-year-old kid
Yeah.
and he moved in,
Since the wedding, right?
yeah. I don't know when that first scene was, but she had like braces or in it or something, or she.
Yell when you hit that cold water.
It's not going to ignore me when I speak directly to you.
I'm not ignoring you. What am I supposed to say? Okay, it's kind of hard not to yell when you hit that cold water.
Hey, what is your name? Aurora?
Yes.
You want a shot?
No, not especially. What?
Oh, plane.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna have this dinner at NASA dinner at the White House, and some cosmonauts and all of us.
I guess they left it in because they liked Jack Nicholson's reaction
I
there.
didn't know
Yeah.
who I could take, because all the people that I flew with, well, their wives would give me bitch fights all up and down my back if I showed
Bitch
up
lights?
with my regular
Bitch
girls.
bites? Like
I didn't
midges?
know anybody old enough, so I thought, well, I'll ask my next door neighbor.
I don't know anything about these kids.
Me neither. Except that one's kind of got a dirty hat on.
Yeah.
Like, not in dirt like I've been playing baseball dirt. Like, I was looking in the fireplace.
Like now, all of a sudden the movie's following them. I feel like we haven't eearned it.
Mommy said
Well, we haven't seen John Lithgow yet. Maybe he's like them as old man.
Oh wow, I hope not.
Sequel takes place in the future, in space.
I remember my mother. That's a bad John Lithgow impression.
What are you guys doing here? I told you to wait out in front of the house.
I told you to put on a bra, Mom.
people think we live there.
Well, now I think it's the 70s
Said
again.
I didn't want people to think we live there.
Yeah, is it the 70s though?
She's wearing plaid bell-bottoms.
Have we seen any technology that would not exist in the 70s?
Okay, you're allowed to say one mean thing to me
And
a
there's a
year.
rape whistle.
Don't
Okay.
do to your chin.
You're driving Daddy away.
Okay, Tommy. Stand up and follow me.
Yep,
Don't make me
it went
cross
away.
the street. Hurry up.
You're allowed to say one mean thing to me a year. My mom did not have that policy.
I like that policy.
Yeah, it's good. It's like Festivus.
I'm gonna hand that one out, yeah.
$44?
Ovaltine.
Look, oh, there he is.
Oh, jeez!
Sorry.
That's like in Hereditary when you there's like something scary on the screen, but you don't see it at first.
Yeah. Just a looming Lithgow.
I was looking at the groceries up front.
Trying to figure out where we were.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing good work.
$38.40.
You don't have enough money?
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
fuck
you.
you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
So this is like a Batman prequel where he's like the origin of the Joker or something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
I guess they're drunk at this point.
you could do anything in the 80s. Actually, honestly, it's Texas. You can probably do that now.
Yeah.
They're just in Galveston.
Not enjoying this.
Galveston is kind of like the Purge, if I remember correctly.
I'm going to stop.
Yeah,
Yay!
that was kind of awesome.
Best scene in the movie so far.
How did you just right into the water? That's John Wick level driving right there.
Wow. Oh my god, this shot's gonna haunt my dreams.
It's not
Ugh.
my fault, but I'm sorry.
You wanted to get me on my back. You just had to ask me.
911.
Wait, that's working?
Wow. Now that I'm sandy and smell like Galveston water.
Jack Nicholson's hair is a very interesting.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh my God! Get it! Get it out of there! I can't get it out! Everywhere I can! How can I say God?
Got some water on the camera there. Very Guillermo del Toro-esque.
Yeah.
Bend down! Bend down!
Is he being an asshole or is his hand caught on something?
He's taking my back?
You have to get drunk! Enough! Drunk!
Pain sobered me up.
What pain? Did she have like a crab in there?
Wow, what an 80s shot.
I don't understand.
Yeah, did she... I think she had a... what do you call it? A mousetrap down there like a cartoon.
Really?
No.
Oh,
But yeah, he did.
that was so confusing.
Yeah, he said my back, which doesn't make any sense.
This might be a terrible thing to ask, but are you thinking about your husband at all?
Oh, I was a little.
Look, we can go back right now.
No, Sam, stop it. Look, I
Oh
want
my
to do
God.
this. I'm
Oh
glad
my
that I don't
God.
know whether or not Flap's been with someone else. I'd hate to think that I was doing this just to get even.
So did she have the third kid Or is she currently pregnant with the third?
She had the third kid because we heard its
Oh.
baby sound.
Just look. Great. Fine. Great.
What?
Park in my driveway, you're breaking the law!
I like Deborah Winger's nonchalant attitude. Like, yeah, I was thinking about him a little, but at the same time,
Yeah.
so confused by that affair. Unless it's like a sugar daddy sitch.
Everything would have been just fine, you know. if you
He
hadn't
does
gotten drunk.
work at a bank,
Yeah.
but that's not
I just
necessarily
didn't want you to think I was like one of your other girls.
sugar daddy rich.
I mean, she did say, like,
Curtsy on my face real soon.
she...
Garrett, what is it that makes you so insistent on shocking and insulting me?
I'm a dude.
I mean, I really hate that way of talking. You must know that. Why do you do it?
Yeah, let's have a stroke. Oh,
It is about you. You do bring out the devil in me.
Oh man.
Witches of Eastwick crossover.
Yeah, this is the Jack Nicholson-iest Jack Nicholson movie ever. Where's he? Is he at the hospital now too?
It looks like a hospital tray.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I think they're gonna have to come to terms.
What kind of terms?
I don't know. Oh wait, endearment,
Yeah.
endearment. Terms of endearment.
That's
Damn
it.
it, it was right there.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Is he gonna do it? Or is she gonna do it? He's gonna do it.
All right, let the record show. He's got 6 pieces of bread on his plate and 2 milks.
2 milks. A grown man.
Yeah, 2 milks, an apple, Dannon yogurt, salad, piece of pie, and then I don't even know what the entree is.
Have you seen her yet today?
We're working on that. Some sort of potato? Baked potato? Looks like.
Yeah.
Corduroy jacket.
I haven't
He's wearing the tie she gave him.
really talked to the kids yet. I'm not sure how much they realize, but they know something bad is happening.
Flap.
Oh, good. They figured it out.
Patsy wants to raise Melanie. And
What?
maybe the boys. I think they should be with me, don't you?
What?
Wait, they're gonna split the kids
What
up?
would you be thinking about?
Raising 3 children, working full-time and chasing women requires a lot more energy than you have. You know, one of the nicest qualities about you has always been that you recognized your weaknesses.
Damn.
Don't lose that quality now when you need it the most.
Hap sucks. Say no, Hap.
His name should be Snap.
I'm calling him Hap. It's Flap.
Yeah.
Or any invitation to discuss where or how my children live.
Yeah, honestly, I think from a legal standpoint, if they're still married, I don't think that this is choices that can be made.
Yeah. All right, now Flap just abandoned his giant meal.
His pie.
Yeah, look at that pie. Looks
The pie looks
not
good.
great.
I'll eat it.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks good, but I was like, no way, it doesn't.
Says it's time that we have a talk, you know.
Looks like he's come to terms.
Of endethment.
Oh,
No.
here we go.
Understand you're a swimmer.
Here's something gross, probably.
Me too.
But you're an astronaut, right?
An astronaut and a swimmer.
Tell you what else I do. Fuck your grandma.
Get real close. Psst, 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 psst. Back door was open. Hey.
Don't fuss. Don't fuss.
Want to see my pool?
Well, I don't know if the time is right.
Oh, I think it is. Come on. I'll show you the information later.
Oh, Jack Nicholson buying this movie.
We love crawl. Just a little stroke.
Does he know your last name is Breedlove? Because if not,
Yeah.
I think the Breedlove crawl is a...
The end? That ended like a sitcom. Is that the end? What are we doing?
Wow.
All right. Yay.
Wow.
Wow, those are some really blue credits. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen default PC monitor screen for credits before. What do you...
Okay.
Okay.
Teddy Horton was played by Huckleberry Fox.
No way.
I was looking at that because I was like, wait, Huckleberry Fox, that's a character name, right? But no.
No.
Phil David Wool.
I don't know if we got anybody else in here.
Who was Phil?
Was that... No, it wasn't Flap.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Rudyard's A. Brooks, like Albert Brooks? Yeah.
Rudyard's voice.
Mary Kay Place? Alright. That's enough of that.
Ugh.
That music is very high-pitched and annoying. You know, I really thought this would be good.
You know, I thought,
you know what, this is a well-regarded, well-remembered, multi-award-winning movie.
Yeah.
For acting, directing, best picture.
I mean, Shirley MacLaine was real good.
I guess. I don't understand her character one bit, though.
I mean, maybe that's the thing. It's like, what was I going to say? Have you... Oh, I watched The Exorcist for the first time last year.
Okay.
And that movie really scared my mom. And, you know, like she called a family priest afterward and was like, is this real? And so I was talking to her and, you know, she's like, oh, what'd you think? What'd you think? And I was like, well, you know, the problem with it is I've seen every movie that's ripped it off now.
Yeah.
And I've seen you know, it's like hearing, so...
And seen all the parodies and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, like, whatever moves this movie had, other movies have, like, done them to death now. And, you know, so the fact that this was the first movie to, like, pull these kind of moves, I don't know.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe in 1983, because there was a lot of, like, frank dialogue in it or something, you know, maybe that was a big thing.
I guess some of the sex talk was shockingly...
Yeah.
outre.
And Jack Nicholson was charismatic.
He was very Jack Nicholson-y.
Yeah. Maybe this is like when people think of his sort of Jack Nicholson-ness.
Yeah.
Maybe it's this and The Shining or something like that.
I do. I think that those are both peak Nicholson, with maybe Cuckoo's Nest and Joker being like slight modifications on that. But that was like pure Nicholson-id.
This movie, God, it covered a lot of ground.
Plot recap for those of you who haven't seen it. There's a family in Houston that's just a grandma and a ma. Deborah Winger is Shirley MacLaine's daughter. They're very close, but they fight all the time. I don't know.
But the fighting never seems to be any, like, substantive thing.
No.
Like,
but it's not, like, lighthearted and teasing either. It's pretty cutting.
She doesn't like her husband, and in the end, she was right.
Yeah. Flap is her husband. Yep. Flap.
Flap Horton, played by surprisingly attractive Jeff Daniels.
Super buff Jeff Daniels. Disturbingly...
From certain angles.
Yeah.
A real powerhouse stud.
It was like he just did this movie in between Captain America sequels. Like, he got, like, bulked up for no reason.
It is weird when people... there was this movie, Faster.
Yeah.
No, wait, it was called Snitch. Sorry, it was starring The Rock. But the character wasn't necessarily written as, like, a all-star, you know, world-class caliber bodybuilder. And so, like, people kept commenting, like, you're big! And I was like, yeah, more people should do that in movies.
Yeah, like, jeez.
Yeah, especially, like, there's some people that are just, like, way too attractive. It's like, no, people would almost comment on it. Like, excuse me, like, oh, God, look at you. Sorry. Anyway, Jeff Daniels.
He plays an English professor who's very bad at speaking.
Yes.
Or expressing himself in any way whatsoever.
And
and
they end up moving across the country.
To Iowa.
Where she very slowly, the daughter, Emma, has an affair, I guess.
Well, she suspects Flap of having an affair, which turns out to kind of be true. It's not a very... It's your stereotypical professor with a grad student thing.
And I don't think it was true at the time.
I think she pushed him over the edge of something he was thinking of doing, potentially.
Or maybe he wasn't even ever going to do it, Although he was letting her like stroke the back of his hair in a way that like would be disgusting if they were married in public.
Well, and then but she just based on that decides to have sex with John Lithgow.
Yes.
In his somehow least attractive era. I think he was, when he's really young, he's a kind of somewhat good-looking man, and when he gets older, he ages into a very handsome gentleman.
I feel like he had a certain sort of charm during his Third Rock from the Sundays.
Exactly.
But that was not this. At some point, they were like driving and talking about having an affair. I guess they were going to some sort of like old country home of his.
Yeah.
In the Iowa farmlands.
Or just a barn. I don't really know.
So everyone knows barn sex. Pretty good. And then she eventually catches him just sexy talking with another lady.
Yeah.
But then I guess they were going to keep it going. But
she took the kids and moved back to Houston. And then he was like, well, I got this new job being head of the department in Nebraska. And then she's like, well, okay, we'll go with you.
Yeah.
But it turns out he only took that job so he could keep having an affair with the grad student who also got a professorship there. So you'd think he'd be like, that's it, we're done. This was his chance to be like, okay, it's not working. I'm going to move to Nebraska with my girl.
Yeah,
make a clean break.
His wife Emma was ready to leave him, and he was like, "No, stay. Let's do this in a different city."
Yes, please uproot yourself and our children to Nebraska so I can humiliate you in public on campus with my continuingly public affair.
It's.
Ugh.
I feel like the kids were kind of weirdly introduced as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we saw like young Emma, and then we would cut to like older Emma or something like that, and you're like, okay. But then we see like the really young boys, and then we cut to them being 9. It was treated in such a way that I never thought that they would be main characters.
Yeah.
And they were, because I mean I feel like the most emotional scene in this movie is her telling her boys she's going to die. Deborah Winger telling her sons that she's going to die. And then,
because she gets cancer.
Yeah, and I feel like that scene kind of like pulled its punch. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping way ahead.
No, I mean, that's all I had to fill in.
But also,
there's no other plot to it than that.
The mom during this time is very slowly working up to having an affair with Garrett Breedlove, an astronaut.
Played by Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Not an astronaut.
Yeah. I mean, there was a movie like Last Detail where he played like a former Navy guy, which I have not seen. So picturing him as an astronaut seems tough.
Yeah. This is, 83?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw him in Cuckoo's Nest, which was 81.
Yeah.
And he was quite fit.
Okay.
So he either bulked up for this role a la Robert De Niro, or just decided that was the last movie where he was trying, and like fully transitioned into latter day, what you now know as Jack Nicholson bod.
Yeah, that sort of jolly fatty.
Yeah, he never went back, as far as I know. I don't think he ever...
Hey, Jack, can you get in shape for this role? I don't see why. I would. Never do that.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of was leaving them out of the plot because they're completely incidental to the plot. Yeah. Shirley MacLaine and Jack Nicholson are not what the movie is about at all.
Shirley MacLaine won Best Actress. Not Best Supporting Actress, but Best Actress.
Yes.
And I can kind of see it because it...
And Deborah Winger was nominated.
Oh, also for Best Actress. That's interesting. I mean, I get that because it definitely bounces around a lot. Best Supporting Actor nominee, John Lithgow? Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what he did in this movie. He showed up.
Were there not a lot of movies released this year? Because, look, he was in the same category with Jack Nicholson. Not even close.
No. Yeah, so they're completely side-dressing, and their relationship is really hard to watch. Because she is what she is, which is kind of like weirdly stuck up and judgmental, but also weird. Yeah. She's just a weirdo.
I mean, I also feel like the time jumps were weird in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have time jumps with the daughter, and every time jumps, there like something significant has happened. She's added another kid. Well, pretty much that's it. And then with Shirley MacLaine, every time you time jumped, she's like, inching closer and closer to having a relationship with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now I'll talk to him. Oh, now I'll ask him out.
So the most fun part of the movie is when they finally go on a date for lunch, and he gets completely hammered.
Yeah.
And is completely rude and unbelievably boorish throughout the entire lunch.
Yes.
And then makes her drive the convertible back on the beach while he stands up and says, "I'm king of the world" out the top.
Yeah.
And she finally has enough and slams the thing, and he flies into the water. That scene makes no sense.
Uh-huh.
None of it's believable, but it's fun to watch.
How familiar are you with Shirley MacLaine?
I'm getting there. I mean, now that I've seen The Apartment,
Yeah.
and I've seen her later work, like the 90s stuff, she's amazing in The Apartment. I mean, just magnetic and holds the screen, and honestly probably should have won Best Actress then.
Well, compared to that, because I was wondering if this was like a sort of either a return to form for her, or a sort of like a kind of like a an unexpected role for her.
Yeah, this felt
Change of pace kind of thing. Like,
it's not that unexpected because she's always sassy. I feel like.
okay.
But she was, and I saw her, of course, in Around the World in 80 Days in brownface as an Indian Raja princess.
Yikes.
Yeah. But yeah, she was just like the cute girl, like Ocean's 11, The Apartment, and then she didn't stop working or anything.
So I'll let the records show that of all these movies that
she was nominated for an Academy Award in 1977, so it's not like this was a comeback role.
According to the colors of the hyperlinks, the only one that Karina clicked on was The Bliss of Mrs. Blossom.
What?
That one's like purple. I mean, you clicked on it.
I know. I'm trying to figure out why I clicked on it.
Well, I had clicked on it too. I've never heard of this thing.
Because we were... Never mind. It's because I have another podcast where we were talking about the person that this is based on who hit a dude in her attic for 30 years. Anyway,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then she was in Cannonball Run too. So like, I don't know about Shirley MacLaine. Steel Magnolias, of course, was still coming.
Yeah,
Postcards from the
that.
Edge. I've seen all those. Guarding Tess. She's still working.
What about Deborah Winger? Was this like a... She was like in some other big movie.
Deborah Winger was kind of... This was her era.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she did much before or after that was notable. Let's see. I mean, she...
An Officer and a Gentleman was the one I was thinking
Officer
of.
and a Gentleman, Voice of E.T., Terms of Endearment. She was killing it, 82, 83. And then she just kind of went away. I remember her in Leap of Faith with Steve Martin.
And then 16 Years Off.
And then she literally did a movie called Searching for Deborah Winger as herself. That's not a good sign. I guess she suddenly retired from the movie industry at the height of her career.
Wow, interesting.
Interesting. It won a ton of awards. It won Best Screenplay. I guess it's based on a Larry McMurtry book, which explains the Houston. I don't understand. You're right. There must not have been anything else. The Right Stuff was that year, so I guess we were having a astronaut moment. And The Big Chill. And other than that, a lot of things that have faded into nothingness.
I mean, this feels kind of... I mean, I'm not a James Brooks expert, but it feels like the other two movies I've seen him in, or I've seen of his... Can't talk.
Yeah. This was his, first movie.
Yeah, because
he directed.
He created, Mary Tyler Moore Show and...
Yeah.
Rhoda.
Yeah, he did this, and then he got nominated for Broadcast News. And let's see, that's about it in terms of As Good as It Gets was his return to directing.
Yeah, and that also cleaned up.
Yep. Well, when he does it, he's good at it, I guess. I didn't feel it. You're right. It must have been at the time nobody had ever seen a drama before, but that doesn't make sense. The 70s are full of sexually frank, drug-doing family dramas. Ordinary People won 2 years before this, and it's basically just this with no emotions or any exciting things going on in it.
Well, the dialogue was also in this movie was real snappy. It was.
Yeah.
It felt, I don't know, it felt a little forced to me. Like it felt like dialogue. Didn't, I don't know, but I mean there were some good lines and stuff.
There were a couple, but the movie's entire trick was, hey, I'm going to make this character say something to someone's face that you would never say to someone's face in real life.
Yeah.
And it pulled that trick over and over and over again.
Yeah, you're not special enough to survive a bad marriage.
Yeah.
No one would ever say that to someone's face, and it was like, whoa, and a bunch of other stuff.
But because it did it for every character, it didn't feel like, oh, these are specific people. It felt like, oh, we're living in this bizarro parallel world where people just say what they think about people to their face.
I know we were talking over it, but at the same time, it's hard to get a feel for it, especially because, so we, before the movie started, you were like, this movie's a real tearjerker, supposedly. I bet someone's going to get sick. And you were right, but it happened real late.
Yeah. And real, out of a lack of anywhere else for the plot to go.
Yeah, where was it going at that point? Like, because it
was pretty much wrapped up.
Their affair thing, like, it didn't really have momentum.
Nope.
And then it almost like that whole plot sort of got its legs taken out from under it, and with the cancer thing.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson, Shirley MacLaine, that was kind of treading water.
Yeah, because he's like, I guess I love you, and then are they together in the end? Like, that's such a weak ass I love you.
He tries to break up with her in her gazebo, but he lives next door, so you can't really break up with your neighbor.
Doesn't work.
Nope. But then, like, the cancer brings them together. So the cancer's just this nice, convenient way to make all the characters be nice to each other after being mean to each other the whole movie.
I mean, I think that's an interesting thing, like, dealing with that kind of grief. If that had been more of it, I guess that would have been a tougher sit through.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know. I mean, if you want to talk about, because she made a big deal about at the end. She and I keep saying Hap, Flap were having sort of a conversation. She was like, well, finally, we're talking to each other. It's like, it didn't seem like you had that problem before. Like, it seemed like you were always, talking about stuff. And then, of course, the decision of Flap to be like, yeah, I guess my children would be better off being raised by somebody else, just seemed like...
Yeah, he literally just lets go of custody of his children with a shrug.
Yeah. I mean...
so weird.
It sort of makes sense that the mom would say that because she doesn't like Flap, but for Flap to be like, yeah, I guess you're right, just makes him look real bad.
It does. I do notice that Jeff Daniels is the only actor in the main cast who's not given an Academy Award nomination.
Oh, yeah, they even...
Which is a weird snub.
That is weird, too, especially because it's like...
John Lithgow got one, and he did nothing.
Would you have nominated him for Best Actor? Let's say...
Do you think he was the main actor?
That's what I'm asking you. I feel like he was a supporting actor in this movie.
Exactly, and I thought Jack Nicholson would probably be... But I mean, he was supporting in the sense that he didn't really matter to the main plot. But...
Did we ever get a scene of... Jeff Goldblum, not Jeff Goldblum.
I wish.
Of Jeff Daniels by himself?
No.
Yeah, that to me doesn't seem like an lead role to me.
No, the closest we get is when he's forced to take care of the kids for like 2 days, and they try to pull that thing of like, uh-oh, the kids are left with dad, everybody's worried about him, that I hate. And he's actually doing a pretty good job making a barbecue. When did
that movie Mr. Mom come out?
About this time.
Yeah.
That's like 84, I think.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, dad raising their kid? What the fuck? Mr. Mom.
And a lady doctor, too. Yeah, it's suffused with that sort of, like, I don't know, 50s bullshit that was still, like, hanging on by a thread by the 70s, 80s.
Yeah. Look at other people who are nominated in this Best Supporting Actor category. Charles Durning.
Awesome.
Sam Shepard, Rip Torn. They must have think like, we have a shot. But John Lithgow went up against Jack Nicholson. He's like,
nah.
Why was I nominated?
Seriously. And of all the things he's done, he was killing it at that point too. Because he had just done, or he was about to do Footloose. Where's his filmography? Because the early 80s was like John Lithgow time in America. Yeah. World According to Garp, Twilight Zone, Terms of Endearment,
right.
Footloose, Buckaroo Banzai. That was peak Lithgow.
2010, a movie
Yeah.
I enjoyed, which I've been told to my face is not good.
Uh,
I've been told to my face, what a weird way to... I didn't make it. Who cares?
I feel like he was killing it until Harry and the Hendersons took him down to like, we're going to need to give you a sitcom for you people to like you again.
Ooh, Ricochet. If you haven't seen John Lithgow and Ricochet, it's one of those classic, like, no one believes me movies.
Oh, really?
And he plays a big, scary Nazi in that thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, Denzel Washington's in it. It's,
He went mean in Raising Cain, too.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, he was like a horror movie guy for a minute. Cliffhanger, he was the bad guy, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Huh. Everybody wanted him to be a bad guy, and then he got that sitcom.
Oh, he was in the movie Johnny Skidmarks.
And then the next thing you know, he's in Rugrats in Paris, the movie.
Playing Jean-Claude.
And in Shrek.
Oh, he was Lord Farquaad? I, for some reason, never...
Yeah.
I never gave that a thought. I never was like,
Who is that Lord Farquaad?
Yeah. I never got into Shrek.
I
We can
didn't
cut this
either.
right out of the podcast.
This is exactly what the podcast
Okay.
is. I hated that movie because it was, one, overtly a big jealousy letter to Disney. It was just clearly like, we're just jealous of Disney and we're going to let it show in all of our jokes.
Yeah, definitely like a riff on that stuff.
And I'm sorry, but it's a kid's movie and he named the villain Lord Farquaad, and I just don't find that amusing. I mean...
What is the joke there?
Farquaad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like, it was made by people
Farquaad.
who were
Yeah.
too bitter to be making children's entertainment. That was my assessment.
I worked at a movie theater the summer that came out, and it was there the entire summer.
Ugh.
So
I worked at a media play, if you remember those.
Where is
They
that?
were like a Sam Goody on steroids.
Okay.
Standalone, it had CD, and that was the summer that Independence Day hit VHS.
That was a big one.
Well, I saw it over and over again on those monitors.
Every media play employee remembered where they were that summer.
Yeah.
Watching Independence Day.
And watching Independence Day.
Christmas time, I guess.
Hoping for another blockbuster to come out on DVD or VHS or whatever we had back then.
Please, Men in Black 2 or Men in Black can't get here fast enough.
Yeah. So, good for everybody. It's one of those movies that I'm like struggling to feel something about. I don't think it's a bad movie.
No, I just feel like I kind of wanted it to connect with me because I'd never seen it. I've definitely heard about it. And people would sort of talk about it in like a reverential tone, like, oh, Terms of Endearment.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if this was Jack Nicholson laying down his blueprint,
Yeah.
I could see why that was a marquee film because, like...
Well, he had his blueprint, though. This wasn't like his breakout film.
He already had done...
He'd already done The Shining. He'd already done Cuckoo's Nest. He'd already been Jack Nicholson on screen.
Well, in that case, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't doing anything new then.
No, I mean, like, look, he did the whole 60s.
Yeah.
And then Easy Rider was when he started to turn it on. But he did Chinatown before this, Cuckoo's Nest, Shining.
Reds.
Yeah, so, I mean, he'd been...
I just found out while looking up Shirley MacLaine's Wikipedia that she was the sister of Warren Beatty. I did not know that. That blew my mind.
What?
Warren Beatty, Shirley MacLaine, brother and sister.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I did not know that at all. How'd they end up with such different names?
Because she is her middle name, Shirley MacLaine Beatty. And then he added an extra T for some reason.
Wow, that is the least flattering. Wikipedia does not like Warren Beatty
Yeah, whoever filled out
at all.
Warren Beatty's Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
I think it was Carly Simon. You're so vain, you probably think I filled out your Wikipedia page.
She came back from the dead. Wait, is she dead?
Carly Simon? Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I know, alive and well, Miss Shirley MacLaine.
Yes. Good for her.
I'm surprised she's not like Dame Shirley MacLaine. I know she's not British. Still, though. We could.
She's a dame of the American screen.
Yeah, we could fit it in there. She's an American god.
Yeah. Thoroughly mediocre movie. I would say if you broke this up into pieces, stretched it out a bit, and put it on ABC for a season, it would do okay. But it wouldn't get any like media it's just kind of a flat drama that has some moments that you were like, okay, well, if you start watching it, you'll keep watching it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree with you. at all. I just kind of wonder if we had seen this one 83 when I was 3 years old. It makes me wonder, like, you know, if we had seen this before we'd seen a whole bunch of other stuff, if it would have had a bigger impact.
So I've now seen, I think, all the Academy Award winners in the early 80s for this podcast. I think this is the last one. Oh, no, I've still got to watch Amadeus. But I've seen Ordinary People. I've seen this. I've seen Chariots of Fire.
Oh, my God. Gladiator with Brendan K. O'Grady. Did you already do that one?
Yeah. We had a good time hating that movie.
Oh, wait. Brendan didn't like something?
Yeah, he didn't like it. And Out of Africa.
If you're listening to this, Brendan, haha, gotcha.
So I've seen every early 80s winner, and what I've taken away from this is that even though I was alive during the early 80s, I wasn't aware of what was going on, and I now realize that was the most conservative, boring-ass, lame time in American history, according to the movies that were made from it.
Yeah.
Like, they are all uniformly kind of boring movies.
My dad was in the military, and I definitely grew up with that nuclear war anxiety.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when I have, like, you know, I'd wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
With, like, stress dreams kind of stuff. And it's funny watching movies that sort of play off that now. Just this idea of, like, Russians and the nuclear war and stuff. But
wow,
where am I going with this? Yeah. It's funny that the 80s, in terms of certain things, I feel like were real bad, but other things were real good.
Yeah, I mean, the music was fine. That period, I haven't seen Deer Hunter yet. Maybe that one will be awesome. But let's be generous.
Well, Deer Hunter's 78.
Yeah, let's be generous and say from Deer Hunter to Platoon. Yeah. Let's take the two war movies that just by virtue of being war movies have action in them. That is a long string of boring-ass movies that won from 78 to 86. Which was a very exciting time for music. I know not everybody likes the music then, but like a lot of shit was going on with music. Genres were exploding. Rap was showing up. Pop was making a left turn.
Well, Platoon was definitely like...
I didn't like Platoon, but at least it was something happens in it, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know Deer Hunter and Platoon were that far apart. I don't know, this idea of, like... you know, showing sort of war in a different light.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a relatively new thing.
Yeah.
You know, because even the movies like To Hell and Back were still like, we did it, boys. The 80s were a great time for comic books.
Yeah. Everything else in the culture seemed to have been gutsy.
Yeah.
But the movies, at least the ones that the Academy picked, because obviously there's some pretty rad-ass movies from that time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Were the boringest. Or were we trying to be like Europeans and sophisticated or something?
I mean, when people look at 2019, 30 years from now, and they see Green Book,
oh god, damn
they're probably going to be like, oh, boys, people in 2019 didn't like movies.
I'll be honest, this is not shaping up to be one of those decades that we're going to look back on and go, what a string of classics.
Yeah,
King's Speech, Artist, Argo, 12 Years a Slave, Birdman, Spotlight, Moonlight, Shape of Water, Green Book. I mean, I haven't seen all of these, but of these, the only one that's, like, exciting, and it's not a really good word for it, is Birdman.
I like Birdman. I know a lot of people
it.
didn't. I think because it was so...
It's so different.
It was, like, very gimmicky with its... or I think it felt gimmicky to some people, where... The whole thing about, like, you know, it's filmed as if there was no cuts, which clearly there were. They didn't act out a live movie in 2 hours every time. But yeah, I liked it.
It's just, it was not a good decade. It's not turning out. We got to redeem this.
Spotlight, perfectly fine movie. Didn't feel like a Best Picture winner to me.
Spotlight was a very good movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of movie that I think... We knew the context. We lived through the context.
Yeah.
I guarantee in 20 years, if somebody does a podcast or a braincast or whatever we're doing in 20 years of watching all the best picture, that's going to be one that are going to be like, what? I don't get it. Man, how did this win?
I watched Slumdog Millionaire last year for the first time, so 10 years after it came out.
Yeah.
That was a huge I don't get it for me.
That, as a best picture winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing there.
Lord of the Rings, of course, getting it for...
Like an emeritus thing?
Yeah, I was like, hey, you earned it, pal. Get up here.
I am so excited. This is a sneak preview. Thank you for sticking this long into the podcast, because you are finding out now that my halfway point celebration is I went and I tracked down somebody who has not read the books nor seen any of the movies to sit and watch the Return of the King without any context.
That is interesting.
To help me figure out if that's a good movie or not. Yeah. I don't think it is. And I think if you didn't have the context of the whole epic, it would be a disaster to watch.
The way that movie has like 9 endings, you're like, okay, I'll allow this. I'll allow it. It's not like they check with me. But you're sort of like, okay, fine. It's the conclusion of one 9-hour-long movie.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense that the resolution is 45 minutes long. But then just watching that movie in of itself, you'll have to let me know what the guest thinks. Or I will listen like you, people at home.
There you go. Listen and then rate us. Will you rate us?
Yeah, I'll give you a review and rate you on iTunes. I don't use Stitcher for no reason. Just didn't get around to it.
I don't know what Stitcher is, but I'm on it.
Are you on Libsyn or whatever that
probably
thing is?
I think Libsyn gets you. I don't think you have to do anything to Libsyn.
Oh, is that just like a syndication
they find
thing?
You. Yeah. I don't know. I've Googled it a couple times, and it seems like everything's got us. But
okay.
Mac Blake, thank you so much.
Thank you
for sitting through all the terms of this endearing movie.
I love it.
I tried.
That was pretty good. I'll give that review 5 stars.
Do you have when's Waterbed?
When is this coming out?
Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I'm retired at this point.
Okay.
By the time you're hearing this, I will be done with comedy forever.
Oh.
So it was fun while it lasted.
That's not true.
My Twitter account, I'm gonna have a lot of opinions about Avengers Endgame. So
okay.
I know those are hard to come by. So definitely, no, I don't. I wrote a tweet the other day, and then before I hit send, I was like, "Ooh, this is a take. This is a hot take." No, thank you. It was about Whataburger versus In-N-Out, and I was like, "No one needs this."
Oh, we all know too, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.